Have you noticed that the internet feels different than it used to? Not just in terms of design or platform features, but different in some fundamental way that's kind of hard to articulate. Conversations kind of feel scripted and communities feel fake. And especially with viral moments after TikTok, everything kind of feels manufactured and scripted. The spontaneity and weirdness that used to be the internet has been replaced by something that feels almost corporate and algorithmic. And there is a theory that attempts to explain this feeling, and it is called the dead internet theory. And in its most extreme form, it claims that the internet died sometime around 2016 or 2017 and that most of what we interact with online now is not produced by real humans, but instead by AI systems and algorithms designed to simulate human activity. Now, according to this theory, genuine human users are now a minority in the online sphere, and most of us are unknowingly interacting with machines rather than people. Now, the conspiratorial version of this theory goes just a little too far, because obviously the internet isn't dead, and real humans are still here. But the theory does point to something real that is worth examining philosophically. Because even if the internet isn't dead in a literal sense, something about online community has fundamentally changed. And that change has serious implications for human connection, authenticity, and what it means to be part of a community in the first place. But before we look at any data, let's start with the subjective experience that so many people report. When people do talk about the dead internet theory, they are often trying to articulate a feeling that they can't quite explain. Online spaces that used to feel somehow alive and unpredictable and genuinely human now feel curated, repetitive, and very hollow. You scroll through Reddit and see the same reposted content cycling through every few months. And the comment section under videos are all the same depending on what your algorithm has decided you might or might not agree with. You watch videos go viral and wonder if the engagement is organic or simply manufactured. It feels like we are on the internet, but we are all living the exact same thing. The internet used to feel like walking into a chaotic, messy town square where real people were arguing and sharing weird inside jokes and building literal subcultures. But now it feels like walking through a shopping mall where everything has been focused and optimized, and where genuine, spontaneous human interaction has been replaced by something that looks like community, but doesn't really feel like it. Now, this is not all conspiracy, because there is literal infrastructure built for this. And here is what we know from actual research. According to various studies of internet traffic, somewhere between 40 and 50% of all internet activity is generated by bots. Now, not all of these bots are malicious, because many of them are search engine crawlers, automated systems that perform legitimate functions. But a significant growing percentage are designed to simulate human activity for a myriad of reasons. For one, just to inflate engagement metrics or amplify certain messages, and to create the illusion of consensus when there really is none, or simply generating farming clicks and ad revenue. Social media platforms are particularly saturated with this kind of automation. Twitter, before Elon Musk's takeover, estimated that about 5% of accounts were bots. But independent researchers consistently found the number to be much higher, potentially 15 to 20%. And Reddit is filled with repost bots that automatically recycle old popular content. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all of the platforms have this same problem. There are automated channels with fake followers and fake engagement. Videos that seem to be getting millions and millions of views and likes and comments, well, half of them might not actually be real. And now, just to add fuel to the fire, we have AI generated content entering the mix at a massive scale. ChatGPT and similar systems can produce articles, comments, posts, and even entire websites filled with plausible sounding content optimized for search engines and engagement. Now, AI image generators can create profile pictures, memes, and visual content. AI voice synthesis can create videos of people saying things that they never actually did. The technology barrier to creating convincing fake human activity online has essentially disappeared. And this is not some shadowy conspiracy theory because it's actually happening. There are economic incentives to ensure that if you're able to do this, you get automated engagement. And advertisers will pay for views and clicks. Influencers can gain status from follower counts. I mean, there are 1,000 ways that you can monetize having followers and getting engagement online. And so it makes sense that if you pay for these followers and you pay for the engagement, then you can generate revenue for your company or your political campaign or anything that suits your personal needs. And all of these incentives reward automating the appearance of human activity. And the technology to do so is now widely available and fairly cheap. So the dead internet theory gets something fundamentally right. The internet isn't dead in a literal sense, but it is increasingly automated, and genuine human-to-human interaction is becoming a much smaller percentage of total online activity. Now, to understand what exactly has been lost, we need to understand what community actually requires in the first place. And for this, Hannah Arendt's concept of the public realm is essential. Arendt distinguished between the private realm, where we attend to biological necessities and personal relationships, to the public realm, where we appear before others as distinct individuals and engage in collective action. The public realm is where politics, communities, and all other human activity becomes visible to each other, not as abstract categories, but as unique persons with distinct personalities. Crucially, Arendt argued that the public realm requires what she called plurality, the simultaneous presence of multiple distinct individuals who can be seen and see one another. Because community is not just a collection of isolated individuals, it is the actual space between people where they encounter each other as real, where perspectives might clash and converge, and genuine collective action becomes possible. For Arendt, this plurality is what makes us fully human. In the public realm, we are not just biological organisms or private selves. We become persons through the encounter with other persons, through being seen and heard by people who are genuinely other than ourselves. And without this plurality, we are reduced to something less than fully human. Now, if we want to apply this framework to the dead internet theory, a significant growing percentage of the people that you encounter online, if they are bots, algorithms, or AI-generated simulations, then you are not experiencing genuine plurality, but instead the illusion of so. You think that you are in a public realm, encountering other distinct individuals with literal opinions, but you're actually just interacting with an automated system designed to make you angry to stimulate a human response. The real problem is that you're being deprived of the genuine encounter with otherness that makes community possible in the first place. You're essentially shouting into a room full of mirrors and echo chambers, getting back reflections and algorithmically generated responses. but never actually meeting another consciousness. Early online communities like bulletin boards, forums, IRC channels, and early social networks often did create genuine community, especially for people who might not have had the opportunity to get out and meet other people, and for young people who were exploring different ideas and trying to form relationships with people outside of their realm. And online, people could form real relationships and develop a shared culture because they were building spaces where they knew each other as distinct individuals and cared about each other beyond any instrumental purpose. But as the internet has scaled and commercialized, it is increasingly shifting towards a place that nobody wants to be. Social media platforms are no longer designed to facilitate genuine community, but instead to maximize engagement metrics, ad revenue, and data extraction. Most of the people who are creating these kind of content bots online are not worried about you as the user, but instead what the revenue will do for them. And so it creates a society where we care less about the person on the other side of the screen because they're really not a person. Because how can you know if they are or not? And the less we care about people online, the less we will care about them in real life. AI and bots taking over the internet is not a conspiratorial dead internet theory that doesn't impact your life, because it does have real consequences for how you see people on the outside. So, with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.